a video on alternate methods of importing items into the CONS database. In the first session, there was a couple of different methods on printing a bill of material, whether it be from the database or a bill of material from a project. Getting day-to-day prices to populate your database is important, but also project pricing on a given job to populate that and not and still have a record for that project and have a means to continue updating your database as well. Now, I'm just going to use a method in this example actually to print a section of the database out and send it off to a supplier. I can run a similar report in the summary screen to get a bill of material and send it off to my supplier as well. In this case, I'm going to go to the IntelliBid section. I'm also going to go down to the Hubble premise section, and I'm going to grab some just some Infinity style faceplates here, and I'm just going to grab this selection right here. And the way I need to do it based on the previous video is, in this case, I'm going to not take the entire category or header. I just want to grab these first few items here. So I'm going to go up to the top, run a report here by master item by manufacturer, select by item range, and then just enter the corresponding numbers in here, 157, 0337, down to the bottom, 157, 0342. Hit OK. It launches Crystal Reports, and then in this case, I'm going to choose to export it to Excel. This opens up in Excel now, and one suggestion or recommendation is this is a typical spreadsheet. There's always a lot of filler on some potential spreadsheets. You don't really have to, but depending on how many rows deep, it can be a factor. So the best thing is to delete some of the extra. Even the logo does not really have to be there. And here's a typical more flat file in Excel. And I'm just going to save this now. Do a save as in this case, and I'm just going to put it on my desktop, and I'm actually emulating me getting it ready to send it off to a supplier. I'm just going to call it supplier price update. It could be Gray Bar or Gexpro or anybody else. So I'm now going to hit save, and the file's been saved. I could go to my desktop. I'm just going to close this down right now. Minimize this and show there's the supplier update price. Now, if I'm the supplier, I could receive this price and enter some pricing in here. I'm just going to make it real simple. I'm going to make these are all different color style faceplates of the same one gang configuration, so they'll all be the same price. I'm just going to throw a price in here. If I hit save, I can be the supply house now and send this back to me as the contractor. I'll just close this down and then open up IntelliBid again. Now, this can, on your first pass of importing, this is the process. It'll get a little easier. One step of this I'm going to show is going to be eliminated on any future ones, but the initial setup is to go down in the item maintenance down at the bottom. We're going to work with this pull down here and add a vendor name and control and actually do the import from this maintenance button down here at the bottom for vendor. Now, in the case like this, here's the pull down. I'm going to call this vendor 8 or vendor 9 actually my supplier. I'm just making it generic for this example. And over here in the bottom right, there's a vendor file mapping. This is for anybody that's used the import from an Excel spreadsheet. There's a great mapping utility in here, and this is has a similar mapping utility in here. What we're going to do is create a new mapping file. We're actually going to go out and look for that individual Excel file coming back from the supply house. And it could be a text file, CSV, or Excel file. Now, I don't have to send this out. As I said, this could be something coming back from the supply house with just 2 columns, UPC code and price update, or the actual price, and used to, in this actual mapping utility, the order of the price, the catalog numbers, or UPC could be in any order. Now, I select this, hit open, and I'm going to take the first row. It says select the first row of match that contains first of actual data. I'm actually going to grab the line that is actually the true header row. This is technically the first line of data, but I'm just going to, for ease of use of this, this is more of a practical use, is with the mapping configuration comes up, I'm going to call this supplier update test. Now, on the left-hand side, there's some required fields, and these are the fields that are in the IntelliBid database. The pull-downs here will select, and I'm just going to map one for one here from the Excel spreadsheet that I brought in here for the price update. So my price is going to be in my vendor price in my spreadsheet. I want to actually match, in this case, I could do it by the UPC, or I'm actually going to do it by catalog number, and I'm going to select down here at the bottom catalog number. So basically I'm only looking at one criteria: when the catalog number matches the spreadsheet versus the Conus database, update this price with that price. Now, it's a mapping file, so if I sent the same format request to a supply house and they send it back to me to 2 or 3 supply houses, I could use the same utility. If they're separate supply houses with separate formats, I could set up and for future use I don't have to map this again, but for the first pass we have. So now I'm going to close this down, and on my selection here for my supplier, I'm now going to do an import with an option here, import from vendor import file. Hit the radio button. This highlights and to execute the import to vendor selected in grid, which is my supplier. Select it. Here's my mapping or pre-saved mapping configuration. Now I'm going to go actually to the file that the supply house would have sent me. And in this case, on a regular basis, I could now keep going back to this and having my supplier send me something every couple weeks, every month, every quarter, whatever the case. Now, I hit open, click OK to begin the price import. Now, any unmatched items will show up in the following report. There's nothing here. That's a good sign. Now, I'm going to close this down, and I'm in these. I happen to be right here, left open in the program in the item maintenance. Under these specific items, I went for price update request, and we put it in my supplier. And if you take a look, there's the items updated in the database. So that ends the video on alternate methods of updating your IntelliBid database.